According to YouTube analytics, you guys are looking for combat builds. So, to appease the algorithm, I will try making some. Let's get to it. Combat builds can mean a variety of different things, depending on what you're trying to take down. So, for the first build, I figured I would try making something that would clear out an enemy stronghold. Like this one here, that I usually test devices on. To start off, we will of course use the traditional pieces of a homing cart, stabilizer, and some construct heads to target the mobs. I don't know what kind of design I was going for at first, since I was just kind of building whatever came to mind. And with that being the case, I ended up with lasers and frost emitters as my main weapons. And once everything was in place, I decided this build was missing something. It needed some extra charm. So I slapped on a light to make this thing look more humanoid. I don't know if it's charming, but it looks cool. With all that settled, it's time to go set it loose on this pirate ship. As expected, for this to be a fairly simple combat build, it's doing great against this little holdout. All while only having 4 lasers and 2 frost emitters to fight everything with. Oh, and of course a light. Overall, it's simple but effective.
Outstanding!
Next up, we're going to be taking on something a little larger. So, I traveled here on the map, and I was thinking of what to use to effectively take down a Hinox. The issue with larger mobs is they can do a yell or slam, which will despawn your Zonite devices. That's something we obviously want to avoid. To get an idea of what I was in for, I made a similar build to the last device we used. However, as you're about to see, it only got the Hinox about halfway before he butt slammed it and got rid of the device. So, time to brainstorm something else up. While doing this, I thought about a device I've used before, which is a fairly simple build consisting of a hover stone, a rocket, and beam emitters attached to a construct head. The idea is to make sure the device isn't on the ground. That way it can't be slammed and despawned. The hardest part with this build is of course getting it into position to target the Hinox. Lucky for me, this combat build was launched into a good position on the first try, where it then proceeded to melt the Hinox. Combat build 2 is a success. The next combat build is my personal favorite way to take down Lionels. In the past, I've made elaborate machines that would sometimes work, but most of the time they didn't. However, that was until I discovered that one simple scooter with the pulse laser placed on it just so happens to be the ultimate device for taking down Lionels. As long as I keep distance between the Lionel and myself, it will always chase me and won't have time to roar and despawn my creation. Now, if the Lionel you're up against has armor, you of course need to attach a cannon along with your lasers. But since the one I'm facing right now doesn't, this is the most efficient and simple combat build to fight this mob. Which makes this device a no-brainer when going against Lionels. If you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Also, leave a comment, cause I respond to those pretty often. And as always, I'll catch you next time.